Right, so let's start doing some prep work for our Loule bag. No particular order. We'll start with the piping first. So we have two pieces that are 3/4 inch wide. This one is 13-inch long, and that's going to be for our slip pocket. And this one is 12.5 inches long. That will be for our front piping. So you can, if you want to, flip it over if you want and draw a line down the center. But I think I can eyeball it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my double-sided 1/2 inch tape. We're going to put a piece all the way down the center from edge to edge. Make sure it's centered. This stuff is so darn sticky. Okay. We'll go ahead and just put it on this piece too. Smooth it out. Make sure it's centered. Keep that smoothing. And then we're going to take, this is a 1.8 millimeter cording. It's meant for window shades, but it works perfect for this purpose. And you want to cut it so that it is 1 inch on the, let me make sure I did this right. Yeah. So on this shorter piece, cut it so it's about 1 inch shorter on both sides, because we don't want it going into the seam allowance. So just kind of cut it there. And then on this inside piece here, probably you're going to do a 1/2 inch. So we'll do this one first. Take off the tape. Put your cording, goes 1 inch down in the center, just sticks there, and goes to the end. Mine's a little bit long, so I'm going to trim it. So, easy peasy. Then you're just going to fold them together, keeping the cording tight. So fold it together. Let's see. Keep the top edges aligned. And there you have it. And then you want to take your, like a Hera marking tool or whatever you have handy, and kind of just go along the edge, the inner edge of the piping, to give it a nice crisp, flush feeling. So it's nice and tight in there. It's just a real small accent piping, but it's perfect for these kind of bags too. So this is this piece, and this is again the, let's see, this is the front piece, I believe. We'll attach it. And then we have the slip pocket piece. And we're going to do the same thing this time. You want to stay away about 3/4 inch from the sides. So just take this, go kind of measure it. There. Put it on top. 3/4, maybe even a 1/2 inch. We just don't want to have any excess bulk in the seam allowance, but this is such a small amount of bulk in the first place, so I'll just go for 1/2 inch or so, like that. And we're going to tape it together. Just pull, not tape it, push it together. That's why that 1/2 inch double-sided tape is so cool, because it's plenty to hold on to the cording and enough for you to do this little part here. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. And then we're going to do the same thing as we did before. Use the hair marking tool and just put it right up against the edge of the piping on the inside to kind of make it be as pronounced as possible. And then we're also just getting the tape nice and secure. So now we have our 2 piping pieces ready to go to the sewing machine. We'll do that next, or after a few more things. And next we have this is our D-ring attachment. So this is 1 inch by, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 inch by 8 inch. You only need about 1 inch by 6 inch, but I always like to have a little bit of extra. So we're going to put some, now in this case, I like to reinforce my D-ring connector. So we're going to take a piece of double-sided tape. We're going to put it down the center. Let go of my finger. Smooth it out. And then we're going to take a piece of Cordura, anything you have that will help give the vinyl strength and not stretch. So Cordura, even a piece of Decaville Light would be fine, but I have this, so I'll put this down all the way, cut off any extra. And then we're going to put another piece of double-sided tape down the center. It's very sticky today. Down the center. Give it a smooth. Pick the tape off. And we're just going to fold the vinyl to the center to create a 1/2 inch connector tab, which we will sew, and then we'll cut into the correct lengths. But I like to first do this, obviously. So. So this is just a very simple, typical 2-fold strap to get our 1/2 inch D-ring connector strip. We will take it to the machine, top stitch 1/8 of an inch away on either side, and then trim them to approximately 3 inches each. But we'll do that after we do a few more things here. Getting everything prepped and ready. Okay, let's see, let's talk about our zipper pocket. Okay, so we have, now this is a 1.5 inch by 7 inch piece of vinyl. And what you do is you cut it as a square, and then you're going to measure a 1/2 inch box in the middle. And it's quite a mess, as you can see. And use your X-Acto knife to carefully cut out that center piece. Make sure you don't overcut it. And then what you're going to do to get the rounded edges is just simply put this on your cutting mat. Use a little rounded bottle cap or something, and just use that and trace around the edges to get your rounded edges. So I like them rounded myself too. You're going to want to edge paint these, the inside as well as the outside, because you don't want the vinyl showing. So that's pretty simple. I may do a video just on this, but for now, that's what you need for your overlay. And we have our 2 pieces of interfaced fabric. So let's go ahead and we have our zipper, our 7 inch zipper. I have bar tacked this edge here so the zipper won't fly off. And we're simply going to put your zipper face up on one piece with the zipper pull to the left. Get a couple of clips here. So I'm going to put some clips. And you'll take the other side. You're going to put it so it's face up and put the zipper along the other edge, making sure the sides are lined up and the top. Oops. Like so. So that when you're done, you basically have, we've done this before, but I'll keep showing you till we master it. This is how it's going to look. You're going to sew 1/8 of an inch on either side of the zipper. Then you're going to press it open like so, and we'll be ready along with our zipper placket to add it to the inside lining. So go ahead, we'll get that sewn next, and we'll keep our overlay. People call it overlay or placket. I'm going to call it both things just to confuse you. But for now, overlay, keep that with your zipper. We're back. Okay, now we're going to prep our top zipper. So I'm going to take a ruler, lay it on the cutting mat so that's 1 inch down, and take your marking pen and mark 2 lines. Make sure you can see them. And then you're going to do the butterfly that we've done before. You just take that line, fold it back upon itself. You can use a clip to hold it in place, or pins, whatever you like. But we're just going to fold that back upon itself so that you have the little butterfly. And then we will go to the sewing machine and sew these so that they are in place without having to have clips. And that's the prep for that. We will trim this zipper before we add our skinny zipper tab. Oh, that's something new we'll show you. It's got a skinny zipper tab, which is kind of fun. So we'll come back to that. And let's see, last but not least, we have this is for our handle, well, not our handle, our wristlet. So this one, now you might want to go ahead and mark it down the center just to be a little bit more accurate since it's a larger piece to work with. So we know this is 3 inches, so we need to go 1 3, 1.5, basically. If I can do that, 1.5. So get your pen, whatever you like. Mark a line down the center. Make sure your pen works. And now we're going to take now this piece is for our wristlet. Normally, when you've watched our videos, I like to reinforce this with Cordura, but this is a wristlet strap, and by the time we do a 4-fold, we don't really need to. So we're not going to. We're going to take our 1 inch tape, 1/2 inch double-sided tape, that is, and we're going to put it down, leave about 3/4 of an inch at the top. Okay, we're just going to go all the way down to leave about 3/4 of an inch. So, and pull this off, fold this to your line you drew, this is for a 3/4 inch wristlet strap. If you prefer a different size, then you want to, basically it's your the width of your strap divided by 4. So that's what we're going to get. So we do 3 inches divided by 4 gives us a 3/4 inch strap. So just pull this along. So you can finger press it or use your rolly tool, and then you're going to bring it together in the center like so. And we're going to get our hardware, what do you call it? Lobster clasp, our 3/4 inch lobster clasp. So just fold it in half like so, and pop this on so it's towards the center, okay, like so. And now you're going to take these 2 ends and you're going to open up the ends because you didn't put glue, so it's easy enough to do. And you're just going to match up right sides together, make sure it's not twisted. Put some clips in there. This is all, like I said, it's just prep work. It'll all come together in the end. Okay. So now that's going to be our wristlet strap. Those are right sides together. And we're just going to sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance down the side, and then we will have our strap ready for top stitching. So I think those are all the prep steps. I'm going to go do them at the sewing machine. I'm going to come back and show you. I'm not going to have you watch me sew because this is really basic things, but we will be sewing the bag together on the machine. So I'll be right back. And so I'm back from the sewing machine. Very simple sewing, but I'll give you a recap, okay? So I've sewn the zipper 1/8 of an inch away. It just needs a nice little press. So that's our interior zipper pocket. We'll keep this little facing piece handy with it. You're going to want to, like I said, go to the iron and press this open so it's nice and flat. I'll do that separately. So there's our interior zipper pocket. And then for our top zipper, I went ahead and stitched the little wings down. So go ahead and do that. Get that ready. We'll attach the skinny zipper when we're ready, so keep that handy. And let's see, we have our little piece for the D-ring. So all you're going to want to do is you can just cut this in half. So, and then just measure it. You want about a 3-inch piece, 1, 2, 3, even 3.5 if you want, because it'll get cut off in the end. So no reason not to have extra room to play with. I always make my connector piece to start with longer because you end up with little wonky pieces sometimes at the start and stop, so easy to cut those off. And then we can go ahead and sorry about that, get our D-rings ready, and just take this piece, stick it inside there, fold it over, put a little piece of double-sided tape if you want to keep it together, but for now we'll just put a couple of clips and do that for this side. Make sure you have the wrong side to the back. Just fold them in half. And we have our D-rings. Like I said, add a little DST if you'd like to keep it together, but for now we'll just go ahead and put that back on our little bucket of hard work into the bag. Here's my wristlet strap. I just sewed that together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now we'll just kind of finger press it open and let it fold back upon itself, like so. Make sure that the seams match up on the inside. Make sure the seams match up. And then just fold it back again, ensuring the seams match up. Put a clip on there. And then you can continue to match up the sides all the way around. Make sure that they are even. And then we will, towards the end of our bag, we will top stitch this, and you top stitch it in the round, which is always fun. And then we secure it with a rivet. I don't like to sew the connectors shut anymore. It's just a personal preference. It looks cleaner. So look at us going, huh? We already have our strap nearly done. Just needs to be top stitched all the way around. But for now, I'll give her some clips. Like I said, before you actually sew it, and I'll double check, make sure everything is nice and even. So, but we'll put her aside. All right, so we've done some prep work, and now we're ready to attach our piping to two of our pieces. And I wanted to share with something. In the previous video, I said for you to take your piping and sew the strip on your sewing machine. Well, actually, that's bad advice, so don't do that. Disregard that part of the video, and I'll make a note to say don't do that. Because when you stitch on the piping that close and then you put it on your project, you are inviting that stitching to show through. We don't need that. Plus, this is more than secure with a double-sided tape. So my apologies for that. One less step for you to do, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, I'll put this out of the way. This is our decorative band. And we're simply going to attach this raw edges together and clip it in place. Okay. So yours will look like so. And then when we go to the sewing machine, we will stitch just about 1/8 of an inch away, not right next to the piping. And then we're going to fold this back behind this decorative top and top stitch it. And then it should be nice and you won't see our stitching. So save you a little headache from there. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about fussy cutting, because this is going to go, this is the front of my bag, not pretty, and this is going to be the top of the bag. Now, anything that used to be up here is going to be cut away. So you need to kind of keep that in mind when you are putting your, cutting your front fabric. So for example, when I did the Halloween version, I made sure that all of the scenery was kept intact. So just keep that in mind, because when we get done and we attach this, we'll be cutting away all of this top area here. Okay, so a little fussy cutting tip for you. Even though my pattern is not that specific, I did with intention make sure that I had a fun motif down here, not too centered. So that's going to be fun. Okay, so we'll put that aside. Oh, I also want to show you, once we cut this back piece away, we will have a full front to work with. We will be fusing a piece of, I'll show you this stuff, Heat and Bond Ultra that I've cut out. We'll be fusing a piece of that to the back of this piece, as well as the solid back piece as well. That's our back. And you'll want to, and then we're also going to need the same size piece of Annie's Soft and Stable. So I've been experimenting with this for a little while. especially on fabric bags, excuse me, because it's not wrinkling, and I have a lot of trouble with fabric bags wrinkling once I turn them, and it's been very frustrating. So far this has turned out really well, so I keep on experimenting with different combinations. But I will show you how to fuse that. You want to be very careful. I'm going to fuse it on my steam press with no steam. If you fuse it using a regular iron, just take extra care, because vinyl such as this, when you start pressing it, even though it's face down, if it gets too hot, it can lose its pattern or design. But I'll do mine on the steam press and show you that. So I'll put this aside, and next we have our slip pocket. Now, I told you in the previous video that I like to add a piece of Decaville light to half of it. Well, I made a demo, and actually once I put it all together, it was kind of a little bit too stiff for such a small piece that's going to go in the bag. So I'm going to take that back. I mean, you can still do it if you want to, but I felt it was just too stiff. So it is good to use Decaville light on some projects, especially if you have a larger slip pocket that needs more stability. So nothing, it's still a good advice, but not for this particular application. So we're going to take our slip pocket. The measurements are in the pattern. I think I did actually make it 2 inches higher, but I kept the same width if you want to follow that along. And we're just simply clipping the piping in place, raw edges together. Make sure they're together. And remember that we left about a 1/2 inch on either side of the piping to have no cording, just so that we have less bulk in the seams, because this whole piece will go into the seam. And clip, clip, clip. So we will take it to the sewing machine. We're going to sew about 1/8 of an inch away. Then we will take our lining piece and bring it up, and we'll sew right below that line to make sure that we encase the previous seam and we get a beautiful piping. And then when we turn this, we'll have a very nice slip pocket that we will later on attach to the lining and do a divide on it. So that is that. So we're going to go to the sewing machine and do a little fun sewing and get this project going. So I'll see you at the sewing machine.